Before we get into today's Cowboys Report, we are less than 150 subscribers away from 193,000 here on the Cowboys Report. Help us get there. Sub for free in exchange for free Cowboys videos multiple times per day, every single day. The latest on the Dak Prescott contract negotiations, situationship, whatever we want to call it. Ian Rapoport had an update, kind of, on the ongoing contract talks with Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Here's what he said on NFL Network. You guys mentioned the Cowboys start with Dak Prescott, their quarterback, who is in talks with the team about a potential contract extension that would keep him in a Cowboys uniform, maybe for the balance of his career. The two sides have been working. There have been active conversations throughout the last month or so, and the stakes are as high as they get. If Prescott does do a deal, which of course would make him the highest paid quarterback player in NFL history, then he'll remain with the Cowboys this season and beyond. If he does not do a deal, then the likelihood is he'll be a free agent, and the highest profile free agent we have ever seen. He has all the leverage you could possibly get, and the clock is ticking. I don't think there's really that much new information in there. Dak and the Cowboys have both said they've had contract talks, etc., and that's been the case for a while now. The two sides have been in these contract talks for weeks now. And they've even negotiated to the media with Jerry saying, I don't need to get a deal done. I don't have any risk. And, Dak kind of throwing shade back at Jerry and saying, it does mean something about who wants me here, if a deal's done or not. So the question becomes, in terms of change, does either side push extra hard? They're posturing themselves as they don't have to. Dak's side doesn't have to, because worst case, he could always take less, quote unquote, next March before free agency and still probably get more than what Dallas is offering, given the Cowboys' totality of contract negotiation history. The Cowboys, well, maybe they stand firm for once, say, no, we're not going to overpay. We'll choose to rebuild, and you want to be a Cowboy, so you'll come back to us in the end. Next deadline is week 1. What is the % chance a Dak Prescott deal does get done before the Cowboys kick off week 1 of the 2024 NFL season? We'll make this the pinned comment on today's show. So if the ad comes here on YouTube, it's just fine. Take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. As I've had for a while, I have my doubts that this deal actually gets done and completed and that Dak gets the extension that he's going to get from somebody, but he gets it from the Dallas Cowboys. And I know some of you want to have that deal done. And I know some of you don't want to have that deal done. And I get it. It's totally fair. No matter what the decision ends up being, it ends up being controversial for, 50% of the fan base, or that number ends up looking like, because it's no different than politics somehow. I do know this as well. If he hits free agency, multiple teams are going to covet him. Multiple different teams. Dak has unprecedented leverage at this time. A quarterback of Dak Prescott's caliber, he's a year removed from being not even a year removed, second team All-Pro, second MVP runner-up. His age is younger than most guys, and his presumed health. A quarterback hitting all of those three things, if he stays healthy, has never actually hit free agency. Brady was older. Peyton was older coming off of injuries. Kirk Cousins wasn't as good, and also coming off a ruptured Achilles. Dak stays healthy, puts up third or fourth team All-Pro caliber season. That guy doesn't hit free agency ever. So yes, his free agency contract could be kind of insane. And that's how you get to the crazy. It could be this number, because we don't really know what that number is going to end up looking like, because it hasn't happened before. Well, Dallas has made multiple mistakes with the Dak Prescott contract, and they're still kind of lying in the bed they made 5 years ago, 6 years ago. They could have paid him early the first time and gotten him at a market rate that would have looked super cheap, and not been in this exact situation that they are at, where they don't have a franchise tag. He has a no-trade clause. They laid this bed and then rolled over, gave him everything that they wanted. They should have made their decision on this case months ago. Either pay him, build around him, actually spend more than pennies and nickels and couch cushion change in free agency, or don't, and tank and rebuild. Because if you don't pay Dak before week 1, you've kind of got two potential outcomes here. you cave and you pay a larger amount, maybe not even the most amount that Dak got offered, kind of like the Amari Cooper situation, but you pay a larger amount in March, or you lose Dak for a third-round comp pick. You cannot spend money in free agency as a result, and you have extremely limited assets to go get a new quarterback, because let's be honest, this team's picking like 24th again this year. That's a bad spot to be. But the Cowboys have set themselves up for this because they didn't make decisions months ago, or even further, years ago. Today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. It is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app, over 5 million active members. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks, and it is the best way to get in on sports, on the action in sports in most states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. A couple of different Prize Picks options for you that I have done. Some season-long Prize Picks I've got. Joe Burrow. I'm going the more than on the passing yards, plus Trevor Lawrence and Dak Prescott, because those guys stay healthy. They'll get to those, I think, pretty easily. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on prizepicks.com/CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play 5. You don't even need to win to receive that $50 bonus. It is guaranteed. It's Prize Picks. Run your game. Link and the code will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. Next up, we're going to talk some free agency options here for the Dallas Cowboys. How about signing Yannick Ngakoue? This has been pitched again, this time by Bleacher Report. And given, I think, some overall uncertainty when it comes to the pass rush room, I am not opposed to it. There is a slight connection between Ngakoue and Mike Zimmer. He spent a handful of games in Minnesota, the two sides did. His numbers have declined, though, for several years in a row, from 10 sacks with the Raiders to 9.5 with Indy, down to 4, and missing time along the way with each of those in Chicago. But I don't have great trust with what Dallas has in the pass rush room. Beyond, you've got 2 great players. Micah Parsons, obviously, is better, but Tank Lawrence is also very good. I'm excited about Marshawn Nealon. Are we excited about Chauncey Golston? Tyrus Wheat? No, I don't think so. And on top of that, we'll see if Carl Lawson ends up doing anything for Dallas. And I think in the end, the potential Carl Lawson role and the Yannick Ngakoue role is actually very similar. It's the Dante Fowler mercenary pass rusher job, which I don't think you have to spend big money on, because you can find that guy in free agency pretty cheaply, and it's a coveted role because you can get some big sack numbers there. So if Lawson doesn't come along, yeah, I definitely have more interest there in Yannick Ngakoue. It is weird to me, as market has been so quiet, probably something going on there that the Cowboys would have to vet. So would you sign Yannick Ngakoue? Y for yes, N for no. Go ahead and sound off in the comments. Y or N would you sign Yannick Ngakoue? Another free agent name is Caleb Farley. Now, Blogging the Boys also pitching this one. And again, I don't hate either of these ideas. The former first-round pick out of Virginia Tech does have really impressive physical gifts. He's tall, he's long, he was super fast coming out of Virginia Tech. He's got all the traits you're looking for. Between his NFL time and his collegiate time, though, he's played 12 games in the last 4 years. Injuries. COVID opt-out year. He has not played football. And that's it. This is all he's done. 12 games. 3 years in the NFL. Missed his last year of college. Very talented football player. But if you can't be healthy, you don't get better. Talented college player. A lot of traits. Got to be out there to be able to make plays. Again, as of filming, no signing yet for Caleb Farley with any of them. I'm kind of surprised by that. He might be trying to figure out the best spot for him, / teams might want to bring him in for a physical because he's been so injured. I am down to add him to the practice squad. No complaints about doing that. I also worry in the end, he just goes down as a massive what-if player. What if Caleb Farley had been able to stay healthy? That could have worked out really well for Tennessee, for any team. But he was a massive risk coming out of Virginia Tech because of all the injury stuff. Unfortunately, that's proven true so far in his time in the NFL. So name a player who you want to sign. This could be a practice squad guy you want to add to the active roster, unsigned free agent to the practice squad, whatever. Drop that player name for me in the comments of today's show. One name I do not anticipate seeing on here is Kelvin Joseph, yet here we are, fan-sided, actually unironically saying, you know what? With DaRon Bland banged up, Cowboys should bring back Boss Man Fat. Here's the thing, no. This is without a doubt the dumbest thing I will see all day, and I saw it at 9 a.m. this morning. You know how hard it is to be the dumbest person out there at 9 a.m.? That stuff only happens at 2 a.m. the night before, not 9 a.m. What are we doing out here, guys? Boss Man Fat is looking for his fifth team in just over a year. Cowboys flipped him to Miami for Noah Igbenogany. Miami cut him. Seattle picked him up. Seattle cut him. The Chiefs picked him up. Chiefs said, we're going to cut him. You know why? Because he's bad. You know, I can comfortably say this now that he's gone. Kelvin Joseph, his last year in Dallas, still his last active regular season in Dallas, internally, he was the lowest graded Cowboys player. That coaching staff thought he played terribly. And they weren't wrong. He was a disaster. So no. I have zero desire whatsoever to add Kelvin Joseph. And frankly, you know, some people, maybe free speech was a mistake to even suggest this.